All right. We had a few technical difficulties. Sorry for the late, but welcome to the Golf Locker Room. Welcome to the Golf Locker Room. We about to get it started. We're gonna introduce the co-host first. We got Big Siff Dog.
Make a clap to this.
To show our appreciation for your support.
What's good, guys? Hope all is well. Manny, what's good out in LA? Trish, what's good in Tampa?
Everything good. Everything is good. Thank you, Big Siff. All right. We got Miss Trish coming. Oh, yeah. We ready.
What up, everybody? Hope everybody had a great weekend. What's good?
Oh, everything's good. Okay. All right. I am MannyUp, and I guess I give myself a little something as usual.
MannyUp.
That is me. And we're going to get it right. Let's go. All right. So we're going to jump right in because we was a little late. So we're going to speed right through. We're going to do a segment called What's on Your Mind? All right, Big Siff Dog, what is on your mind?
To show our appreciation for your support.
Make a clap to this.
I love that intro, man. Hey, this has been on my mind for quite some time. And, you know, the thing is, I'm sure that this would make a great show down the road. And I'll be brief. And I took the time to even write it down. So, you know, it had to be burning in my soul and on my mind. Parents can be their child's worst enemy when it comes to evaluating the child's athletic skill set. Some kids just don't have it, but it doesn't mean they don't have something else. So what's on my mind at this point in terms of parents, in terms of evaluating the talents of their children? Let somebody else do that, because what tends to happen is we push our kids in a direction that they may not be ready for. Hey, I always wanted to play the piano. I wanted to be like Stevie Wonder, but I can sit at that piano all day and all night and not be Stevie Wonder. So parents, make sure you make sure we don't mind you working your kid and pushing them in different directions, but just don't evaluate them and not know what you're doing or what you're up against.
That's true. Let's get that out. Good stuff. All right. Miss Trish, what is on your mind?
All right. So what's always on my mind is my golf game. And so this week I played. We had a skins game this weekend. I brought it out at Rogers Park, you know, the Mecca here in Tampa, Florida, of black golf. And it was a great outcome. Great, you know, everybody came out, had a good time. And I probably played my worst round ever and shot a 122, and that's not counting the 7 X's that I took. So don't judge me. So I put myself on punishment. So my question is there a such thing as playing too much golf? Does everybody go through this little stint that I'm going through right here? And what can be done to get back to your game? That's what's on my mind.
Okay, that's good. We're gonna ask some pros maybe, or some guys that really know how to tell us how to practice and play. I don't think you can never play too much golf. You can probably be mentally drained and not focused, but you can never play too much golf. All right. So at MannyUp, what the hell is on MannyUp's mind? All right. So we're gonna get it, and we're gonna get it right now. So I'm going to share a little something with you folks. Okay, so throughout the last 20 years or so, it's been a lot of HBCUs programs that's been canceled and struggling, and some only have men, some have men and women's golf teams. And, so we ask parents and we ask the community to get these juniors going and the first tee going. And after that, and they get to high school and play, where are they going to go if we don't support the HBCU golf teams? We need them. We need them scholarships. We need them to get to the next level. You have to play. Well, you don't have to, but it's probably advised to play high level golf in college. So the next 2 episodes is going to be dedicated to the HBCU golf. We will reveal them a little later. I won't reveal them now because this is just what's on my mind. And that's just a little preview of what's coming up. All right, Miss Trish, we're going to do What's the Tea with Mrs. Trish. And we're going to get it going. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let's have a small little
It's the motherfucking Eagle. Snoop Dogg.
All right.
All right, what's the tea with me? Also, at Miss Clark's Golf Life on IG. So what's the tea? Let's talk about Mr. Cameron Champ and that amazing win this weekend. So we really want to give a big shout out to our very own Cameron Champ. Champ fought his way to all the way to the very end with that nail biting 18th hole par for the win. That I don't know about you, but I'm talking about I had like anxiety and a little bit of high blood pressure going on. And then also, he suffered through dehydration. You can tell that he was really going through it, but, he put it his way, to a 5 under 66 on Sunday, winning the 3M Open by 2 strokes for his 3rd career victory. And now he's on to the FedEx Cup. So, with that being said, and and everything that kind of leads into our, our conversation later on. Yeah, see, Larry, 107, I don't think it's going to be good for anybody, right? But literally, that leads to our segment that we have later on with Mr. Robert Price, just talking about, that mental aspect of the game. He fought through. How did he, stay focused to push all the way through? So it's going to lead up to a really good conversation. And again, we're really, really proud of Cameron Champ, and we're looking forward to watching him here at the FedEx Cup.
All right. Let's give him some. Great shit. Great stuff. All right. Any more tidbits and tips and news?
That's all we got. That's the biggest news right there.
Exactly.
That Cameron, right. He gotta have the platform for that one.
No, for sure. We're gonna leave it right there, and we're gonna keep it pushing. We got some great guests coming up, and guess what? They about to come on right now. Let's have a little intermission music, and we're gonna bring them and get y'all ready. All right. We got you guys going on. All right. Miss Tish, introduce these lovely young ladies for us, please.
All right, all right. Hey, ladies, thank you for joining us. We have Diamonds on the Green with us. Obviously, they're very near and dear to my heart since they, asked and allowed me to join them and be the president of Florida that we're going to get up and running here soon. But we got Miss Sharon Christian down here on the bottom right. Say hello, Sharon. We have Natasha from Alabama, and we have Miss Sharita McCrae here from Texas as well. So welcome, ladies. Welcome, ladies. And then to speak on like the Diamonds on the Green, just a little tidbit. It was started by Sharon in 2018. She just had a thing that she loved golf, and she was just moved to do something about it, and that's the birth of the Diamonds on the Green back in 2018.
Very nice, very nice. So I guess we should start with Sharon, because she is the mother of Diamonds on the Green. I think we lost one person, but hopefully they'll be back and we'll put them right back on. Okay, so just give us a little bit of history and how you created it and how they came into your mind and into fruition.
Well, I've always wanted to play golf. I have experienced just about every sport possible, but I've always wanted to learn how to play golf, but I was kind of intimidated because, again, we always felt like, we didn't belong. It was a white man's sport. So I was kind of intimidated to get out there. And I figured there were a lot more women that kind of felt the same way that I did. When I first went on the golf course, everybody was looking at me like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. And I don't want any other woman to feel that way. So I put a post out on Facebook and say, hey, I'm interested in starting a women's golf organization. Who's interested? And it was only supposed to remain here in Texas. And when I put the post out there, I had an overwhelming amount of response. And it just went from there. From 2018 in Texas, we have expanded to 7 different chapters, 7 different, 12 different chapters. And
yeah.
Nice. So nice. And that's what's really impressive. You just wanted a safe place for women to play golf. And now you're a nationwide organization with many chapters and still growing. That's really crazy. But that just goes with the power of something in someone's mind, and they do it, and all of a sudden it takes off. That's just crazy. And that was 2018. It's just been a few years, and look at all you've done and touched so many people already. Sif, what you got, my friend?
Well, I've had numerous conversations with Sharon, which I knew that Diamonds on the Green was going to be huge because, and I'll tell you why. I mispronounced her name. No,
you can't do that.
It's not Sharon, it's Sharon. So, when someone has that kind of confidence about who they are and their name and their pedigree and their background, I knew that she was driven, and I knew Diamonds on the Green was very successful. And so that's one of the reasons that I advocate for it, because I love to see females on the golf course. I love what you guys are doing from an organizational standpoint. You're first class. Everything that you do is first class, and hopefully we can get a chapter here in North Carolina.
Well, we already have a chapter there in North Carolina.
Well, damn.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We sure do. We snuck one in on you guys.
Yep, we came aboard. I think last month. I think it was.
Yep.
What part?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't think.
She's from Greensboro.
Oh, G-Boro. Okay, all right. Okay, good. That's awesome.
Christy's from Greensboro.
Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty good too.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So you already know what to do, Big Sif. You need to get it going and make sure you out there and helping them and getting it going and greeting them at least.
Absolutely. I've got some people who are in my camp that may want to participate, join, or what have you. But seriously though, anything that you guys need, I'm always on board, because this was a must. And to be honest with you, the sky's the limit. I told Sharon before, I think you entered into a untapped market. And so I just know that this thing is going to blow up, and we'll see you. Just don't forget about the little people.
Of course not. Of course not. It's the little people that got us here. So,
That's right.
kind of always have to reach back to those that believed in you. Unfortunately, when I first started, I reached out to a couple of people, in the golf world. And I guess they thought, I wasn't serious or I was going to be some fly by night. And unfortunately, I guess the way that they looked at it, you didn't have anything that was going to benefit me. So why should I help you? So now that we are where we are, everybody is reaching and grabbing. Hey, let's partner. Hey, let's do this. All
right. Well, to those first people that didn't want to help you.
That's right.
Mike Jones.
All right. One more time. Okay, because you never want to crush someone's dreams, and you always want to encourage, especially with us. It's not like I was talking about the HBCU golf teams, and a lot of them is canceled because the athletic people, they're going to cut them first. They don't see the value in it. Hopefully they'll start seeing the value in it. And that's going to be our push on this podcast, the HBCUs. And we're getting into a 2-week session of just HBCU golf programs. And like we were saying, like with you young ladies, you guys promote youth and women's golf. Where are they going to go after junior golf?
Absolutely. And I'm from an HBCU, so I'm excited about that. So I'm glad to hear that.
Oh,
That's
definitely,
awesome.
definitely. And we're definitely going to partner with you guys. And we're just trying to bring awareness. We're going to try to bring some money. We're going to try to bring highlights. There's no, what is it, news organization, especially Black, that really highlights these young people. We're just going to have to do it. On the podcast, I see a lot of newsletters from within BGA, the Alliance and Association. Hopefully they'll take a liking or take some time and really dive into the HBCU golf programs and have them on their newspapers and on their feeds and on Instagram. Because if we don't shine a light on them, who's going to do it? No one's going to do it.
Absolutely. Hey, can I ask one question to Sharita, if I'm not mistaken? Sharita and Sharon. So how are you guys funded? How do you go about, and I know this is tough, being a grassroots organization, just starting out, funding is a premium. And so how are you funded? How do you go about getting funds? I hope that this isn't just out of your pocket. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
It's a little bit of both. Out of our pockets. A little bit of both. We do a lot. We try to do a lot of fundraising. We try to do a lot of sponsors, a lot of donations, and just a little bit of both.
Very nice.
Two of my biggest sponsors, one is based out of San Antonio, which is Mach 3 speed training. We went down to visit with them back in March. And then we have Conrail. Both have been with me since the inception of Diamonds on the Green. So I have a lot to be grateful that they believed in me when nobody else did.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank
That's
goodness
awesome.
for that. Yeah, that is, because that's what people don't understand, that everything in life takes money, even if you're doing it for a good cause, even if you just had a small idea in the back of your mind and you're bringing it in so you can create and do it. It still takes money. And 9 times out of 10, well, 99.9%, you're always going to put your money in first to get it going. Even when the people's like, oh, I don't know, maybe you're like, man, I'm putting my own money. I'm putting my own time in. I believe in the idea. Watch me grow. Hopefully, if you don't believe me in the beginning, maybe you can catch me in the middle and shoot me down with something. And that is why another reason why we're going to do this HBCU stuff coming up, because I believe even though the athletic directors cut the golf program, it's like, robbing Peter to pay Paul and vice versa. And it's just tough. It's just tough. But I'm just a firm believer. They got to be able to go somewhere. Yeah. We have parents spending 40, 50, 60,000 a year to get these kids up to the point where they can play golf on a college level golf, which is not easy. We'll start these kids out at 3, 4, 5, 10. Everybody else, every other culture thinks it's really important. Like I'm in Cali, so I've seen the shift from the Asian players, from the violin to golf. And we always say, oh, it's the new violin. They own that golf. And we were slow to come. And but they see the value. So we have to start seeing the value. It's probably one of the sports in HBCU that eventually they can compete on the big level, even if they're not D1 and then the big guys that with all the millions and millions. You got 5 or 6 or 7 people on the team that's good. They can go all the way, and that's what's great about golf, individual and team. So I think we got to really start putting some energy into that. But back to the ladies. So you guys have many chapters. You're in many states. Tell us about the programs that you started in those states. I know you guys are bringing women into golf. Do you have a mentorship program going on, or a juniors program going on within your guys' group?
So what you were speaking to about the kids and starting them out young and making sure that they have those foundations. So if they did get into the HBCUs and things didn't work out, we're wanting them to get those scholarships so that they can go on to college and hopefully help them, get into the golf world, and that can help them as well.
Definitely.
Well, we have a program, DC on the Green, and that's what we use that program for, like Sharita said, to start them out. And we take them as young as 3 years old. And we kind of mentor them through the program with the money that we raise and with the donations that we receive. We try to offset that financial burden for those individuals that's, playing in tournaments. If they don't have golf clubs, or, if they don't have the shoes, we try to help them get those items to make them feel that they belong and play their best game. So that's one of the programs that we have. And within DC on the Green, we do have a mentorship program where we kind of teach them life skills where they can be productive in society.
Very nice. Very nice.
And one other question, Sharita and Sharon. The thing is, when you're making a pitch for sponsorship, and I've seen it before, and it's sad that people think along these lines, but sometimes when you're making a pitch for sponsorship, sometimes people will ask you this question. So if they haven't already, you'll be prepared when they do. They'll ask you, well, you guys have a grassroots organization. So how is this different than the first tee?
How's it different from the first tee? Well, I don't think the first tee really reached back to, and I don't like to use the word underprivileged, but I don't think First Tee really helped our people, help our children. And we kind of find those ones who do have that passion, but doesn't necessarily have the financial means to play the sport. I think with First Tee, you have to have the money, you have to pay them. If we have an individual that want to learn and have the passion to play golf, hey, that's what we're here for. So that's what sets us off from First Tee.
I think First Tee started out with that mission, but that's not where they are traditionally now.
No, definitely. Even in Cali, trust me, it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing, and
it's a lot more political.
I'm gonna leave it alone today. But we going there. This is the golf locker room.
Oh boy,
today, we just gonna celebrate you, ladies. But best believe we going in on the first tee and really dissecting it and seeing where. If it's not us, then who? We have an event out here, and I'm just gonna put it out there. We have an event out here, Tiger's event. It's in Brentwood, and he does it every year. And it's a PGA Tour event, and every year I see buses on Crenshaw and in the hood picking up kids and busing them out the Tigers event, and the pictures look fantastic.
Yep.
They eat sandwiches, hitting balls. People come out, and then after the thing, they put them on the bus, bring them all back down to Crenshaw and wherever, and that's it. That's all. That's the golf. For another 364 years, 64 days. No more golf until the Tiger event comes. And this is no sham on Tiger. He's just sponsoring the event. This is him trying to get photo
op.
ops and be like, hey, look at me, look at me. You have black kids. Look, that's a whole lot of them. But you only gonna do it for 6 hours, and boom, they gone. And
That's it.
I know that's here in Cali, and I'm sure that's out in every state and every county too, because that's how it is. So again, we're back to we got to just look after our own. We hope they come in and do the right thing, and we're gonna shift too, because golf takes parents. It's hard to do. It's very hard to have a junior golf program without at least one parent there. You picking them up, dropping them off, paying what you can. You can't get help, but the time, parent. You look at every golfer story. One parent is the star of mostly every golfer story. My dad, my mom. If it wasn't for my dad or my mom or my grandpa or my aunt or whoever, but we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it real too.
Yeah.
But like that, we can say you have single moms with kids that have a knack. Then organizations like you guys and others can be like, okay, we understand. A single mom don't have 25,000 and don't even have 25 hours in a week to be at that golf course because she working 2 jobs, she working 3 jobs, and maybe got another kid at home. But we still want those kids to be at least introduced to the game. I just think with great organizations like you guys, and there's a lot of organizations that's great. We have to be more pinpoint on the help we do, and be laser focused on certain not ills in our community, but lapses, and pick up the slack and try to do its most good instead of just saying, oh, let's just have a charity event. A charity event is fantastic. And then like, okay, we're going to give it to this, we're going to give it to that. But what do they do with this? Is that the best thing? I just think we need to be a little more pinpoint focus on the help, especially because we all on Facebook like, where's the black people? They ain't showing Champ enough. He should be on TV. Or where is this? Or where that? Like, they'll never get to TV if they don't go through the junior program, if they don't go through college, go through those mini tours. They'll never be on TV. You ain't gonna never see nobody because they ain't at the level they need to be on. And you got to go through all those levels to get to that level. All right, I've talked too much. We still gonna talk to these ladies. What else you got? You part of the Diamonds. Let's go.
All right. No, so I wanted to ask, so ladies, do we have anything up and going with the Diamonds on the Green coming down the line with you ladies in Texas or Alabama or anywhere?
Well, in November, we do have a banquet, November the 12th through the 13th. We have your event in Orlando, Florida. Sharita, what else we have going on?
And we have Mach 3. We have that training coming up, which is a phenomenal training that we do twice a year that helps us continue honing our skills. So we do like to do the shout out to Michael.
One more thing I forgot to mention. We have expanded the Maryland chapter. So we're going to have 2 chapters in Maryland.
That's true.
Oh,
that's
nice.
awesome.
Yep.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's that good blue crab up there.
That's right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sharita.
And to speak, go ahead, Sharita.
No, you're fine. Go, Trish. That was it.
No, and to speak to the event that we're having in Orlando, it's going to be our inaugural Diamonds on the Green. It's going to be the big golf weekend. So we're going to have a 3-day, kind of like a 3-day event. You can come in on Friday. It's going to come in on Friday. It'll be October 22nd through the 24th, where we'll have a meet and greet, with Sip and Smoke. And then we'll also have a scramble on the Saturday and a skins game, a big skins game on that Sunday. So you can come for the whole entire event. You can come for the scramble, but you'll want to come the whole weekend. And it's going to be at Shingle Creek, and we have an excellent rate there at Shingle Creek. And so all that information is going to come out this Monday for more details. And we look to have the Diamonds there, from all the chapters come in and represent and show them how this diamond shine on the green.
Man, that's awesome. I have one question for the Diamonds, Trish, Sharita, Sharon. So how do you guys, is there a template? Sharon, since you started Diamonds on the Green, is there a template that everyone in your organization under your umbrella has to follow, or do you allow them to be kind of abstract in some of their planning or orchestration or what have you?
Well, we do have a template. As we all know, you give a person too much free, it's going to go all over the place. So we kind of try to keep everything structured, kind of operating the same way. I do allow them, and I won't say allow them, but kind of let them make it their own within the guidelines. We have to be sure that, we kind of stay within the guidelines and the outline that we've instructed. Make sure everybody's operating the same way. We don't want anyone to try to outshine the other, because it is a sisterhood. We want to work together, and I want to change that narrative that we can work together to make something positive and then shine.
Very nice, very nice. And I'll be remiss. Please, Diamonds on the Green, and at the bottom on the ticker, that is the website. Please leave your email, male, female, whatever you need, so they can send you newsletters, so they can send you updates. You may have a wife, you may have a sister that wants to be in a chapter or start a chapter. And the key to great organization is contact. And sometimes it's very hard for us to gather enough emails so we can really communicate with you guys effectively. So please go to the website. Please put your email in. They're not going to inundate you with sales, and they're not selling nothing. They're just trying to give you info.
And one thing about us, we are quick to respond. So we're not going to leave you out there hanging 2 and 3 days. No, nice. We respond within the same day.
Yeah.
Nice. Because I think that's a huge part. Everybody can't listen to the whole podcast. Everybody doesn't come in and out. But what we can do is please contact these people. Leave them your email. Your email and their website, they own. We don't own Facebook. We don't own Instagram. They can cut our shit off with the drop of a dime, but they cannot take your email away. They cannot take your website away. So it's just very important. And I'm going to reiterate this with everybody that comes on here, that we have to have emails and we have to have our own websites, because when Facebook doesn't, or Instagram feels like it's not the thing to do, all our contacts are there. We done lost all our organization. So please support their website. Give your email address so they can have a real database that they can compile. They can organize. We do the same thing. Any other group that comes on do the same thing. So we can at least own our information. They already selling our information. And that's why when you're going to see the commercial, you was thinking about a chicken sandwich. Guess what? You're going to see 7 chicken sandwiches in your feed. You're going to be like, I was just thinking of chicken. Well, at least can we own our own stuff? So it's very important to leave your email to Diamonds on the Green. Trish, I talk too much. Come on, help me. Because I'll talk all night.
No, we're good. We're good. So, ladies, we just want to tell you thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for representing always. Thank you for what you're doing with the ladies and the young girls and the youth in the game of golf. I mean, you know how we do. We shine bright. We shine bright on the greens.
I got a great question before we leave. I got a great question.
Oh, go ahead.
Dr. Bird LCSW is in the chat. What kind of donations are needed or wanted for Diamonds on the Green?
Oh, wow.
We'll take anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Okay.
I'm not going to turn anything away. Trust whatever you provide us, we will put it to good use.
Thank you. Wow. And reiterate, hit that email, hit the website, leave your contact. You can probably get a better in-depth question and really get what you want. And I'm like they said, they get right back to you. That's why it's imperative. I must always throw as many questions on the chat as possible. Hit that website. Get that, leave your email address so they can personally get to you and answer all your questions. Ladies, thank you.
So it is a tax write-off. So again, anything that you provide us, there will be a youth, a girl, or boy that's going to need what you provide. And I would just like to say, Chris, thank you so much, because I reached out to you in the beginning, and you have always been so supportive and gave me good direction. Just thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we appreciate you. You've been one of our best supporters, and we really do appreciate it.
well, you know, the thing is, Sif don't fool with no mess, and I knew from the beginning you guys weren't mess. But the thing is, now you get together with all your diamonds on the green and find your top dog, your top gun, because I got somebody in training that's gonna come down and put some smoke on some folks. Diamonds.
We're gonna always end with that.
Hey, we stay ready. We stay ready.
Okay, now we're gonna fly my helicopter down and I'm gonna drop off, and I'm gonna say I'll be back in a couple hours to get you.
Drop them off. Hey, they may not come back the way you left them.
Oh, that's right. Tell them, they come back limping. We like that.
There you go.
Sif, I'm telling you, shots have been fired. Shots have been fired, baby. Right at you. There we go. There we go.
Loaded.
That's right. That's right. Stay locked and loaded. Ladies, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. Again, please hit the website. Leave your personal information so they can get back at you. You never know. You might not think you need them now, but you might move, or one of your females in your house, your wife, your daughter, your aunt, whoever may want to play, because that's their first purpose, is bringing ladies into the game. And let's keep it going. All right, ladies, thanks so much. And we are out for you. All right. Let's play some music, and we're going to bring in somebody that's going to really take take the cake and entertain us. There we go. Oh yeah. All right, welcome. All right, we got somebody special. Tricia, I'm gonna do it to you again. Introduce our special guest while I do some housekeeping.
All righty. So this evening we have the honor of having Mr. Robert Price. He is the owner of Elite Minds LLC, which is a mental performance consulting service that promotes professionals exceeding their potential in every field of human endeavor. This is accomplished through proven mental skill techniques that will lead the professional to more consistent performances, even in the face of adversity. Robert Price founded Elite Minds in the year 2000 as a graduate student, and has created successful inroads, hundreds of clients. He is an expert applying specific mental skills and techniques that cultivate the mental and emotional strength necessary to thrive in an era of overwhelming demands and persistent conflict. Welcome, Robert.
Welcome. How you guys doing this evening?
We doing great.
What's up, bro?
Basically, she went deep on you. You get people's noodles right to get in the game and win. We just gonna get right to it. And we love that aspect because, man, they say what, 80%, 70% of the game is in between the ears. So let's just give us a brief history, why and how you started your company, and what's your goals with the company, and how have you helped people?
Sure. I mean, the main reason that I started this really is just because, as you mentioned, so much of what we do is mental in anything that we do in life, but specifically in sport. I will be remiss if I don't talk about the Olympics. So that will come up in our conversation because of the major news of just seeing it play out live when we have dealt with pressure and anxiety and how we manage that. But those are the reasons why I do what I do, to really prevent those circumstances or situations happening in the time in which we are asked to be performing. And so I got into this, literally as a ninth grader. My mom always reminds me that at some point in the 9th grade, they tell you to write down, well, what are you going to be when you grow up? And I wrote down, I want to become a sports psychologist or a psychiatrist. I wrote that down somewhere, and it's in some yearbook or something. But I mean, we say what we're supposed to do. We call it out. We allow the Lord to kind of say, this is my ride. This is my path. So this is kind of how I got into it. And, I played sport growing up. I played it in college, and I recognize that there is, as you mentioned, once you get to a certain level of like skill acquisition, I mean, much like the ladies that we're just talking about, like we want to get you in the game, learn how to, do what you're supposed to do, hit the golf ball. But at certain levels, there's a skill acquisition that you already accomplished. And then everything after that really is the things that you have going on up here to allow you to execute when you need to.
Wow, that is great. And we didn't know this was going to happen when you were coming on, but like you said, with the Olympics and the GOAT is going through a little something right now. And I don't think as lay people we totally understand what she's going through and why. And I'm glad we're having compassion for it, but we still don't really understand. You get to that point, you travel, but crisis can happen anywhere. Just because you're at the Olympics, that doesn't mean a crisis can't happen. Can you kind of give us us lay people, a little information on maybe not to her specific case, but just how and why things like that may happen and why you really need to deal with it when it happens?
So it's interesting. I mean, I got a lot of emails, texts, phone calls yesterday about it. And I actually said, let's just wait and see until last night happened, where she actually withdrew from a individual event. That lets us know really the seriousness, if you will, of what's actually happening. And so what I try to share with people specifically about her circumstances, when there is no audience in certain sports, we feed from that. And what you don't have is a distraction, is what I call it. And so the wild circumstances is that she's performing in silence, and the only thing that you can hear is you. And so when it's much like at the golf course, right? A lot of times, they're asked to be quiet, right? Everybody quiet, and in those moments, that's when thoughts begin to happen. And so when that happens for us, we either execute and perform well, or we don't, because we have a lot of mental chatter that's going on. And so, what I said, and I believe it to be, is that in the silence is deafening. And so, that's when you start to think about all of these things that really are true, and your interpretation of these things literally drive your emotions and your reactions, much like her. And the crazy thing, and I liken this to like, when Tiger Woods stopped his golf swing mid-swing. I don't know if y'all remember that, but there was that moment. He's done it a few times. But when an athlete in mid-activity can actually stop, that lets you know how much they are a GOAT. Because we can't do, like she bailed out halfway and still
on
did
the pipe. Exactly. Like,
man, that's mad props. And so I speak to that all the time. I mean, so in her space, I mean, like I said, the mental piece, the mental aspect of what we do is so crazy. And just to speak to how we could have helped her, if you will, is we knew going into the Olympics that there was going to be no audience, no crowd. But when we had our world championships here, I mean, the qualifications here, the quals, we had 20, 30,000 people in there. Now, if we were about it and thinking forward, and what I talk about is training in the environment in which you're going to perform, then we would have, as an Olympic team, we'd have been like, hey, look, I think y'all are cool and all, but we're going to have a deer district. Y'all can watch outside. Woo, exactly. But we're going to practice this thing because we know we're going to go over here and it's going to be deafening. And so much like in football or any other sport, you practice in an environment in which you're going to be facing. And they didn't necessarily do that. They didn't technically prepare them for what they were getting ready to face.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. You are just you and the footsteps echoing off the empty building and you're in your head, and it's like, oh my, I'm not prepared. So I'm just, like I said, I'm glad we're humble. I'm glad we're a little more open. I think Naomi opened us up first with hers, and then this is a continuation of people just trying to take care of themselves, man, for once, instead of giving everything to everyone else. It's okay to be selfish for yourself if health is involved. Sif, you got a question?
What's going on, Mr. Price? Hope all is well, bro.
Man, all is good.
Yeah, man, I thought it was the Ghetto Boys. My mind was playing tricks on me back in the day. So they got a new name for it now. But no, all seriously, I have a twofold question. I played a lot of sports in my life, playing them on a higher level. And people would always ask, well, how did you see that coming? Or how did you make that move or what have you? And I just explained it. I see the game in slow motion, but I never could explain to them. I couldn't explain that to them. I just saw it in slow motion, and you make the move in slow motion, where I think for a lot of times for people, they see things coming at them so fast, and it's very difficult for them to dodge, move, or maneuver or what have you. So I definitely agree with you in terms of being in an arena where it's silent, and then also being in an arena where there's a lot of noise and things of that nature. Some people would much rather perform in an arena like in Arizona. I forget what hole that's on, but they would much rather perform in that arena because there's no pressure. But when you have silence, then all of a sudden everything creeps into that, that psyche. And the other question is this: opposed to what we see now, 20 years ago, do we talk about that as we're talking about it now? Was there a stigma or a stereotype for this or what we see now in terms of mental health and things of that nature 20 years ago, or did we just label it as something else?
We definitely, these same things existed. It's much like a lot of things. We just and you see it, and I always like, even in social, you'll hear it too from people like, she quit. Nothing physical. You could fight through it. Those are all truths to a certain degree. And that's when I was sharing with people literally yesterday. It's like, let's wait till she withdraws from an individual event, and then we'll know the seriousness or the weight, if you will, of the anxiety. What she is experiencing really is anxiety or panic attack. Those types of symptoms is what she was speaking to. Because I had to go back and I wanted to really dive in and listen to the interviews that she was giving. And so I would say in the past, athletes have experienced these things. They were not, if they had experienced these things specifically, even as I would say as a Black man or woman, they needed to, in a different way, fight through it. Right. There's a lot of things different then. But now what we're seeing is that people are actually addressing it, which is good. And then we just have to make sure that we continue the conversation and truly understand. And so even in my field, so I'm kind of dually slotted. I'm a mental performance coach, so I can work on the mental aspects of an athlete's game. That's a little different than also a psychotherapist who I can work on the psyche and the psychotherapy techniques of somebody who is experiencing what she's experiencing. That then would allow her to kind of work through that and then kind of use the sports psychology techniques and principles to kind of help get her to perform at an exceedingly high level. So, and just back to you, Sif, like if you were the man, when you understood that the game slowed down, that's when you actually knew that you had arrived. You hear it in any sport, but specifically they talk a lot about it in football because of the speed of the game. I don't care if you went to Alabama, they talk about it like, oh, I got to the NFL, and all of a sudden everybody's like running 4-2, like I don't know what's going on. And then as you get into it, it slows down for you, and then you're actually able to make sense of what is going on. And there's a lot of techniques and things that we do, and I teach athletes how to get there faster. So that's really crucial.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. One question as far as the amateur golfer and as far as mentally preparing, just the weekend warrior to get the best out. You know, you work all week, you spend a lot of money to play this game and to fellowship, but you still want to perform. And so mental training, even for the weekend warrior or the amateur, is still very important because you want to get the best out of your experiences. What do you say? How do you help the weekend warrior or the amateur that's just in competition, but not on the level of college or pro?
Right. Great question. And the understand that is like, I share this with you guys, is that what I try to get that weekend warrior, and really any athlete, but specifically that person, is to try to match their expectations with the reality. And so I mean, I actually created a program specifically to kind of work with that particular golfer because, you know, I think that having the mental skills are super necessary even then. And so that's really why I created a membership for those folks, so that they can have a monthly kind of check-in and see how to like put these things to use. And so, you know, to understand how to, you know, get those expectations to match up with the reality. If we could do that, you know, that's always my hard work. You know, we talk about it, the heroes, you know, they say they can hit it 330.
I was about to say, so I can't hit 370 no more.
I mean, you can.
Be mad when I don't.
You know what I mean? Yeah, right. So, so all like, you know what I mean. So I try to get people to just, if they're comfortable in what they do, then they can actually enjoy it much better, and they could actually perform better.
Right.
So and it's much like, you know, you'll always hear me talk about my kids on here because I'm still trying to get them to do the same thing. Is like, what is the expectation and what is the reality? If the driver after hole 5 is going right and left and you're not sure how to fix that, then that means we do not need to use that club any longer. Please don't. Like, put it away and use something else to get it where? On the fairway.
Discipline. Whoa.
You know what I mean? It's discipline, but we have to understand how to work through that mindset.
Hey, Mr. Price, can I ask you one other question? Hypothetically, we go to the golf course. Say and this has happened to all of us at some point in our lives, especially us golfers. You have a spat with the missus, or they worked you 2 hours over past the time you get off work, and you go to the golf course. Let's talk about the subconscious. You think that you're good. You think, okay, I'm good. But that subconscious is not allowing you to be good. Is that a reality?
It is a reality. So, you know, it's much like, how do you, depending on what you got going on, asking yourself, how then do I focus, or how do I manage these distractions so that I can still enjoy what I'm doing and have a good time and perform to my level or my ability. You know, I often, even on my own, if I'm working and I'm doing something where like your wife is like, I don't really, you know, you're like, I'm going to go, I'm going to do it, you know, and then you're there, you know, you should be maybe there, but then you're that back of the mind, you're like, you're not all the way engaged. And so there's lots of techniques and things that we can do, but at the end of the day, we need to understand, like, we got to figure out how to get rid of those distractions so that way we can enjoy what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, because there's no need to dump 6 Pro V1s in the water because your subconscious is taking over.
What you doing? You better go in there after the first one. $5 golf balls. What you doing? You shouldn't even be playing those if you hit them in the water. Is what I tell you.
Point and match. So exactly. So this is Golf family. This is what we're doing. We're bringing all aspects of our health into form. We're just blessed to have Robert Price to get in our heads and give us disciplines and give us practices. And we can, like I said before, we have to own our contacts. So that's why I always look at the bottom of the screen, www.elitemindsllc.com. Robert Price, Elite Minds LLC. You can reach him, give him your email, ask for a little information. You know, like I said, Facebook and Instagram can be taken away, but we own our email, we own our websites, we really want our professionals. I really want you guys to contact our professionals and just at least put your name in a Rolodex, because you never know when you're gonna need them. We're blessed to have professional topics and insight. We didn't know about the Olympics that was coming up. He was coming on regardless, and that's how pertinent and important this stuff happens, because it just happens. And maybe they wouldn't have shown it 5 years ago on TV. They just would have just been like, she's indisposed, or they would have gave something. But I think with Naomi first and a few others are like, hey man, and a lot of the LPGA too. Lizette Salas, shout out to Lizette Salas on the LGPA out here from Whittier, out here in Cali. She's gone through some stuff, and it seems that our heroes are women, because they've been the first to actually admit, like, hey, I'm going through something, I'm trying to work it out. Be patient with me. Men, we gonna keep it under a hat until we explode on someone or ourselves. But the women have been the most brave so far. I think it's coming out and letting us know, like, hey, everything ain't right. I'm not about to get up here and jump 20 feet and my head's not in the game and land on my neck somewhere and be gone. No, I'm about to sit it down. And y'all can be mad or y'all can be understanding, but I'm sitting it down for right now until I can get it together. So Robert Price, anything else got going on? I know we're going to have you on when time permits. Try to get you on once a month to give us some of that knowledge, to give us some tips. And it works through golf, but it's going to work through your everyday life too, because these are skills that you can use, period. Trish, any parting questions?
Yes, I got one quick question for you, Robert. So on your website, when you go to your website, when you go to Elite Minds LLC, the website at the bottom, you have a questionnaire there or a survey. So when you take that, and I know that's a free survey to go out there and take as an assessment, what does that do? What is that for? And why should the audience go there and check it out?
Sure. Thank you so much for that. Yes, on the website, I'm offering basically a free mental skills assessment. And so this particular assessment has been given for me to about over 1,000 athletes at every level. So what you receive from there really is kind of the beginning stages of understanding, well, what are the necessary mental skills that I even need or have that are important? I mean, oftentimes we talk about them, but people aren't really sure of exactly what it is. And so this assessment actually gives you those 9 mental skills. It gives you your ranking or rating of that. There's a report that you receive after you complete that. And that kind of, if you decide to work with me, either on an individual or in my membership, you now have some information that we can use to kind of help get you moving in the right mental direction, trying to get these skills improved for you. So if you do that and you work with me, then at whatever juncture or piece, maybe 3 months in, 5, 6 months, we do a post assessment. I love numbers. I want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to help somebody, and that they're receiving the information that I'm offering. And so that's what that assessment is for. It's free on the website, like you mentioned. It pretty much pops up right there for you. I invite all of our listeners to make sure that you hop in there, do that. I mean, if you really care to know, as I share with people, that's about a $300 gift. So
tell them exactly.
It's not like I mean, it's not. This is not like, oh, it's about 30 questions. It's a nice, well written out report. It's about $300 to actually, if you were to just come and call me up and do it, that's the cost that I would offer it to you for, but it's at no cost, and that's an amazing thing. So I'm blessed to be able to offer that as a blessing and a gift. So if you're out there listening, you know how things are. I'm not saying it's going to go away anytime soon, but I do promise you, I can give you a little bit of early insight that November 1st is really when that goes away. I'm just trying to let you know ahead of time.
Use it.
You know what I mean? So it's an opportunity for people, and if we don't take advantage of our opportunities and our resources, then we can't improve. So this is a free one. Again, it really does give somebody a good insight, a good picture of where they are right now. And then the first steps is understanding that I need help. And then once you get the help that you need, we can kind of work and make sure that we get you the mental skills necessary for you to perform consistently great at what you do.
That
Awesome.
is phenomenal.
Awesome.
That's phenomenal. That is
Yeah.
so dope.
Yeah,
I took go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead, Trish. I'm sorry.
No, so fam, so I took the assessment and I'm going to get with Robert Price because as y'all heard, I'm at a mental crossroads with my golf game. And so I'm going to have to check in with Mr. Robert Price on this and we'll see where I'm at in 3 months.
There it is.
Nice. I like it. I'm going to get that up. I'm just going to get that up because, it has been a small push, Robert. I don't know if you've seen it, but with Charlemagne and a few other people that do stuff, it's been a small push for really trying to get some mental help and some mental gymnastics, for a better word, to really get some training and really take care of your mind, especially in our community. We've shunned away, not thinking that that's just as important as your back or your leg or your strength. And it just really is. I mean, if not, if your mind doesn't work, it doesn't matter how strong you are. Doesn't matter how balanced you are if you're not balanced in between the two ears. So have you seen an uptick? Are people more willing to talk to you now? Or is it still you fighting tooth and nail?
I think with COVID, actually, it's been better with people recognizing that mental health is important. I mean, when you're unable to move, you start to, again, right, listen, it's the same Simone Biles conversation. When you're in silence alone at home sometimes, or with just the people that you love, like you love them, but okay, when is this quarantine over? Because you start to understand that what life actually is and about connectedness. And so I think I'm seeing a bit of a more open circumstance. And I'll even speak to language that you hear in the news, is that Simone Biles had a medical, she was right, medical. And people are like, well, what's that? What you mean? She don't have no broken leg.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, people, when you go to have your insurance card, it is a medical insurance card. You don't have a mental health insurance card. You have a medical insurance card. It covers mental health services.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So this is just interesting as you see language and how it gets played out. But it is a worth growth. And so when you start to see this, the Players Tribune in basketball has done a lot. There's been some athletes that have been outspoken around mental health concerns and challenges that they faced as well. And those are crucial conversations to have. Is like, medical, what? Nothing wrong with that girl. I seen her cheering on the other team and cheering and happy and clapping. Like, okay, if your mind ain't right, you trust me.
Stay on the ground, please.
Stay on the ground.
Stay on
please.
the ground. Stay on the
Please.
ground. It's so dope. So thank you. You see what we're doing to the Golf Locker Room family. We try to bring you just information so we won't guess, so we won't speculate. Like I said, this situation came up with the Olympic. It's just a pointed event, but one of our great minds was able to explain it to us, because I know we was we just second guess and try to make up stuff because we don't know the real answers. But I'm just glad we had a professional, Mr. Robert, to tell us a little bit more. So dope, so informational. Big Siff or Trish, parting questions or words?
No, I think the thing for me, Manny, I think you hit it dead on the nail. When you said that, just like we talked last week with the sister who was the chiropractor, yes. Keisha. And so I think mental health checkup it should be wellness. It should be a part of what we do, on a daily basis, because so many people have hidden from, I'm not going to call it a disease, but the epidemic. And so because people say, well, he's got mental issues, he may be crazy. We always equated that to crazy back in the day, or he's flicked, or this, that, and the third, versus we didn't have a name for it then, but we do now. So I think it should be a wellness checkup that we all should take very, very serious.
That is very, very dope, Siff. I think if we all had that, I think we'll be better as a people, better as a culture, better as humans, better
Right.
as God's children all around. Trish.
Yeah. And so, and fam, just remember, so Robert, he not only does sports, he does individual counseling as well. He does family counseling as well. So, definitely check his site out because he does all those offerings. And a lot of times in our world, it's a stigma. It's like, keep it to yourself or keep it within the family. But, it'd be so much healthier for all if we did reach out, if we did seek, some help and some understanding, because sometimes we just don't understand what that whole mental aspect, entails. So that's why you reach out to a Robert Price or somebody that does what Robert Price does, and do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your golf game. But make sure that you reach out and you and seek some help for that if that's a necessity.
So dope, so dope. Thank you so much. Yeah, get the uncle out the closet. Black people will hide uncle in the closet for like 5 years.
Take him up north somewhere.
Uncle's in the attic. We just give him some food. Get the uncle out the attic and give him some
Hell.
All right, we're gonna stop clowning. Mr. Robert Price, EliteMindsLLC.com. Again, please put your email in. He's going to be visiting with us. Hopefully we'll be blessed with him once a month. He's going to drop them gems for us. He done told y'all it might be gone November.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Get the uncle out the attic, get on that website and start filling out them questions, man. Get well. Thanks again, Mr. Robert. I hope we see you soon. Thanks again, brother. Thank you.
For sure.
All right, family. Any parting words, golf locker room host? I know y'all ain't got nobody in the attic, right? I don't have nobody in my attic, but I know Uncle Robert, he in the attic.
You talking some shining stuff. Shining stuff. Nah, seriously, for me, man, parting words. This was premium. To get a guy to come on. To talk about mental health, something that we've been afraid to talk about for so long. We all have some type of mental health issues to some degree. Everyone. But everybody, man. I mean, whether it be on these jobs, pressure to make the quota, rent's due, gas tanks on a quarter of a tank, you don't get paid the next week. That's the anxiety that can create that, that's mental health in itself. And so that was Tricia, big ups to you for getting him on because that was needed. And I hope a lot of people were on and chimed in to hear that. That was epic. That was dope.
That was dope. Trish, come on. You brought him in for us. It just so happenstance and with the Olympics and some Simone, it was just great timing.
Absolutely.
Great timing.
Absolutely.
To have that professional outline that he told us about and how, he could see and hear. I'm a nurse. I thought it was anxiety too, but it was still just speculation for me. But I'm like, that sounds more like some anxiety and anything can trigger. I'm sure she was like perfect until she hit that arena and there was no one there and she can hear her footsteps. Right. It was probably jarring. It was probably so loud and so empty at the same time that anxiety kicked in and she did that one pike and I could see in midair she was like, oh, this ain't going right, and she bailed out to see a goat and landed. Was like, that's it, I'm shutting this down until I can get this better.
But Manny, the thing is, to piggyback on you real quickly before Trish comes in, they look at us, they view us as machines.
Yep.
And so they exactly, man. And so when she said that, I can't perform, I got to check out, there was a lot of people on the sideline. How dare you? You're representing the USA. We don't care what you're going through mentally. You're supposed to do this because you're the best in the world. We see it all the time, man. They put so big of a standard on our athletes. Run, run until you can't run anymore. Exactly. And so it's sad. It's unfortunate. I big ups to the sister, man. She did what she had to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, and that's the thing. I mean, the mental aspect of the game, it's so major, and I'm just now realizing how big it is, and like the course management, like you said, he said something just as simple as, you're hitting this club and you're hitting this club, and why keep hitting the club? Put it away. But my mind, my mental, my ego, my pride, it's not going to let me do it. So it's just learning how to cope and manage through those different decisions and thoughts that are going through your mind. So it was really nice to have Robert on. It was great to have him, and he'll be back monthly, just to give some tidbits on our mental game, the sports performance, just all of that. So great show, guys.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And again, it's still there. EliteMindsLLC.com. Robert Price, Elite Minds, brother owning the company. He does have some help coming in because he's so busy, just like our sister Keisha, Dr. Keisha Bates. Look, access these professionals that you get to see and hear and ask questions to on the chat. Access them. You may not think you need them. Like, again, put your email in. Get in the Rolodex. You just never know. You never know. On my parting words, I don't have too much. I'm just glad we're doing this show. I'm glad we get to hit these topics, and talk that real, keeping it 100. Like I said, we going deep starting next week into the HBCU golf universe. I'm just going to let that out right now. And they get no pub, no announcements. Because we just don't have outlets. So all the Black Golf directory and the blogs start covering our HBCU golf people, so we can have some information. We do better when we know better. We give when we know where to give and how to give.
Absolutely.
And sure, people, like, you can go research yourself, but if you're doing a publication and you're bringing us minority golf information, I expect to see some HBCU stuff in there. Else, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's my opinion. You can hate me. Like I said, I'm not always going to be wrong, but I need to see some of that HBCU stuff in your publication. Something, a wrap up. Give me a weekly wrap up. You ain't got to go deep. We don't have funds. Like we said, even those publications, you can't send people to every school. But you can pick up the phone or pick up the computer and type and get some information. Give us some information. We'll pub your publication and give you 1,000% credit of where we get the information every week. Because that's what we're going to be on. We on the HBCU golf train. If you got a team, you're HBCU with a team, you're welcome to come. We're going to pub you. We're gonna keep it going. Anything else? Quickly.
That was one of the reasons why, and this is short. This is one of the reasons why I take my hat off to Deion Sanders. He chose to go to Jackson State, and now all of a sudden, those guys, that program is on ESPN now. He's getting in front of the microphone, and then another guy who I played with, Eddie George. He's actually taking on Tennessee State. So we're seeing a trend now. And so with that celebrity status, being head coaches at those universities, now all of a sudden we see a shift in how it's viewed. So big ups to those guys. And hopefully that we see the HBCU golf teams do the same.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And when you get those eyes on a program, and it's not the program's not doing good, it don't have eyes, it don't have the outlets, it doesn't have the reach to pull in a celebrity so eyes could watch them and be like, oh, you guys are doing great work. We didn't even know. The great work had been there the whole time.
Right.
Just sometimes it needs eyes. Sometimes you got to get those famous eyes and some of that attention to turn to that program or programs, and we're gonna see some advancement. You guys will be able to root for people on the PGA Tour, on the LPGA Tour, if we get these kids through these college programs at a high level. You will be able to root. Now give it 10, give it 20 years, maybe 15, 10 years. It'll be a plethora of people you don't like, people you do like. You just don't have to be like, oh, It's 2.5 black people. Let's root for them. You're gonna be able to root for a couple black people and a couple of others. And I don't like this one because there'll be a plethora how it's supposed to be. How it's supposed to be. All right, we out. We gonna see y'all next week. And you know, every week we have a few technical difficulties. Sorry
we
about
gonna work it out.
No, it ends up coming out well, man. You did a great job, man.
Yeah. Hey, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And on that note, we are out. Let's go.